다음부터 해르정. Smash through the blocks that bar your way. No time for fear, just let it all fall away. Nobody believes in me and you. Just look at the
Good
way
evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 130 of Nintendo Unleashed. I'm here with my trusty Google Cardboard viewer, and I'm here with Connor.
Hi.
Yep, no Armando this week, but like we said, this Google Cardboard viewer is filling in.
I'm sure he's happy to know we got cardboard to replace him.
Just a very cheap piece of cardboard, which I got for free, so can't complain there. Shout-outs. Anyway, quite a bit of, I think, exciting news this week. We've got a first look at Monokuma's 3DS debut, a new Pokemon move called Let's Snuggle Forever, Capcom maybe finally turning around on the Switch, as well as some stuff from the Xenoblade 2 Direct. And we're going to talk Mario because we've both beaten it now, and I think we probably have a lot to say about it. But we'll get to that last, and we'll let you know if there's going to be spoilers. For now, though, enjoy. So anyway, like always, we're going to start off by talking about what we've been sort of playing over the past week. Connor, what's it been for you?
Mario Odyssey, but we're gonna talk about that last.
Yeah.
I guess mostly mobile stuff and City Skylines, because it's, November, so it's the busy time for college papers and stuff. So basically, in free time, I've just been going to Mario. So
Right, understandable. Yeah, we'll get in depth on that later. For me, it's just been mostly Mario as well. I also started Doom on PS4 though. It came out on Switch today. I didn't want to buy it again though, and because I got Doom on PS4 for $20, so it's like I'm not going to buy it again for $60. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of playing along with people who are playing it for the first time on Switch. I've been enjoying it. I tried the demo a little while back and very much enjoyed it. I wouldn't say shooters are my favorite genre, but they're kind of up there, and this one just works so well for me. I know, it's already been talked about so much, but the way it encourages you to sort of get out in the open and fight rather than hiding behind cover is such a refreshing take on the shooter, whereas, so many modern shooters are like, hide and wait to heal. This is like, if you want to heal, you've got to get in there and get your health. You can't just cowardly hide back, so I enjoy that about it. It's just such a beautiful game. And it's not like, I don't think the art style is fantastic. It's kind of ugly, but the way, like the flow of the game is just so beautiful. It almost feels like a, I don't know. It just feels really nice to play. The combat is fantastic from the guns to the melee stuff. So great game. Anyway, we're keeping it short because we're going to go in all about Mario later. But that's it for this week. And so as for the Nintendo downloads, it is quite busy. Some of it coming out on the 14th, but it's listed on the download anyway, so I'll go through all of it. First up, Doom, available now. That is a $60 release. Bethesda's first game on the system, but not the first one announced. Port impressions and reviews have been mostly positive. We have known about the whole 30 frames per second thing for a while, but apparently it still plays very smooth, with the main issues being some weird audio bugs and occasional dips below 30. Hopefully they can get a patch to smooth those things out. So as it stands, I don't know. I feel like if you don't have another system to play Doom on, this is probably worth it. Or if you've already played it and you're just such a big fan of the game that you want to be able to play it in portable, I would say, for someone like me who, my situation was I had bought it on PS4 like about a month before it was announced for Switch, and then I'm like, oh crap, do I want to sell it and buy it on Switch? But now that I'm playing, it's like I got it for cheaper on PS4, runs better, so I'm personally happy with it. But the portability is definitely a cool factor for such a visually dense game, I guess you could say. LA Noire coming next week, the first game from Rockstar. Hopefully a test for Grand Theft Auto 5, please God. And this is, I guess, a remastered almost edition of the 2011 game, also coming to PS4 and Xbox. It implements, it actually does a pretty good job, it looks like, implementing some of the Switch-specific features, including HD Rumble, touch controls, and motion. So definitely taking advantage of the hardware there. you can now, and that's $50. I believe it's 40 on other systems, so a bit of a Switch tax there, but at least it's not a full 60. Yeah. Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 also coming out on the 14th. I don't know too much about this one. It seems like it's just your standard Lego. I believe this is Telltale's second game on Switch. I think they already put out the Minecraft Telltale game, but now we have the Batman Telltale series. I guess the whole first season coming to Switch. $40 at retail and download. Rhyme is finally coming to Switch. I think this game hit Xbox and PS4 maybe back in the summer. It's very reminiscent, I feel like, of the Team Ico games, but also some Wind Waker influences. It's $40. It'll do 2+. So It'll do launched back on Wii U. It's a very Zelda-like game. This one is similar, and it's, of course, the plus moniker is a dead giveaway that it's a Nicholas game, or Nicalis. I never know how to say their name. So it's got a, of course, being a Nicalis game on Switch, it's got a fancy physical edition with apparently it has like a waterproof map, which is kind of cool, I guess. I guess it's like laminated or something. I don't know. And Ben 10, which,
Gaudy.
yeah, what's kind of bizarre is it's just Ben 10, but there's no subtitle. For games like this, I'm used to seeing a weird convoluted subtitle, but this is just Ben 10. Because it's a reboot or something. That's only
Definitely pick of the week.
Yeah, that's only $30. Also on Switch, download Snipper Clips Plus, which is sort of a version of, well, Snipper Clips launched back as a Switch launch title, and this new version includes all of the original content plus some new stuff, new puzzles and modes and all that. And if you're an owner of the original game, you can get the new content as DLC. For me, the most exciting part of this, though, is that both in this new version and in a free update for the original game, they're adding Pro Controller support, finally. It really boggles my mind that it wasn't there in the first place, because every Switch game that supports a traditional control scheme has it right now. The only ones that don't have a traditional control scheme being like Just Dance and 1-2 Switch. So I was just it was so frustrating that it wasn't there, because I had 2 Joy-Cons and a Pro Controller, so I could only do 2 players. So it's like, why can't I do 3? But now I finally can, so hooray. I'm sure I'll revisit it now. I kind of took a break on that game. The Hulu app is also available, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about in a bit. Coming November 14th, Rocket League, $20. Very excited for this one. Ported by the same studio who ported Doom, actually, so it's a big week for those guys. I'm very much looking forward to it. This is one of the ports I've been clamoring for sure, and it looks like it holds up very well. 60 frames and everything. Super Putty Squad, which this game keeps appearing on like Wii U, 3DS, and now Switch. I'm very confused as to what it is and why it's $20. Octodad, Dadliest Catch. This game arrived on Wii U a few years back, and now it's finally on Switch. So if you never got the chance to play, this might be a good opportunity. Cat Quest looks pretty cute. It's like a cat RPG. Looks charming from what I've seen. Uno from Ubisoft. That's a $10 Uno release, and apparently the online is terrible. Probably not worth picking this one up. Talomere is a randomly generated dungeon crawler type game, I believe. It's at $7. Koi DX, you play as a koi. Spellspire, you are a wizard. Maria the Witch, you are you guessed it, witch. Rock and Roll Off-Road Racing Deluxe. Again, a lot of Wii U eShop games coming over. Apparently this one is not too fantastic, but who knows, they may have improved it here. And Street Hoop, which Neo Geo basketball. So, if you're enjoying NBA and you need some more basketball fix on your Switch, Street Hoop has you covered. And on 3DS, the major release being Mario Party: The Top 100. I haven't actually read the reviews yet for this game, but it combines the series Top 100 minigames, which to me sounds like a decent idea, because that's my favorite part of the series for sure. So, definitely an interesting one. Anyway, pick of the week, man. There was a lot going on here.
I already said pick of the week. It's Ben 10.
Ben 10, obviously. It's just, these are some big games. Again, I can't speak for the quality of the LA Noire port yet. I feel like even though it's not out yet, I kind of want to give it to Rocket League, just because from what we've seen of this port, it looks like an incredible port. I know a lot of people, myself included, have been wanting it. So I think we're going to have to give it to both Ben 10 and Rocket League. I think that's a fair compromise. We're going to have 2 winners this time around. So they take the prize this time. Anyway, as I mentioned earlier, I just want to talk a little bit about the Hulu app coming to Switch because this is the first media app on Switch, at least in North America. I believe Japan got like Nico Nico or something, some streaming
Yeah.
service. Um, so this is a big thing that was sort of missing from the Switch at launch. It didn't launch with any apps like YouTube, Netflix, or Hulu. Kind of weird for Hulu to be first because it definitely feels like the least popular of the three, but hey, it's a start. And hopefully this will. I mean, for me, the main significance of this is hopefully good things to come for Netflix and YouTube. Hopefully arriving by Christmas time. That because that's definitely something Switch owners who get the device at Christmas are going to want to have there. And it seems like they're in a good place to get it there. So let's hope. I mean, again, I'm not a Hulu user. I just feel like YouTube, YouTube and Netflix. I mean, again, I can already watch them on my PS4, and it's also like built into my TV. But I don't know. I feel like it would be kind of nice for a tabletop mode, maybe. Just a thought. Anyway, moving into our next bit of news, the next Splatfest has been confirmed for. I believe this is just a North America theme, and it is sci-fi versus fantasy. I feel like this is a pretty good theme. A lot of the themes so far have been very polarizing, but I feel like this one will probably be a more even vote. Remember the whole like toilet paper fiasco in Europe? It's like it was just so one-sided. So I feel like this is a pretty good theme. I honestly would have a hard time. I'm kind of leaning towards sci-fi, but I like them both. I feel like generally though I consistently enjoy sci-fi more. So
Yeah, same.
I haven't participated in one of these in a while. Honestly, I don't want to say I'm going to participate in this one because I'll probably end up being too lazy, but looking forward to it. Hopefully, I'll at least get to vote, even if I don't get to play in any matches. Glad to see that Splatoon 2 support still coming. We haven't seen a map in a... Well, actually, we got a new map kind of recently. Blackbelly Skate Park returning from the original game. Hopefully, we see a new map soon, though. We've had two of those so far, the ship and one that's like a bridge type thing. Anyway, we have some 3DS news still live and kicking. A game we believe got announced earlier this year. It's, I guess, an Attack on Titan spin-off crossover type thing. You could say, featuring the eclectic teddy bear Monokuma from the Danganronpa series, just making its way to 3DS. I think it's coming actually. Yeah, it's coming later this month in Japan. So it's a very bizarre crossover.
Localization,
I mean,
please.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's a good idea. Like Monokuma certainly, I think he certainly fits that archetype of like this menacing beast. So
it's kind of weird because in the trailer, he's like playing both the role of the Titan and the I forget what they're called, but the soldiers.
Yeah, at one point you can see him like standing next to a human, and he's like the same size as them, and he's like clapping. So, is he good? Is he evil? We'll never know. Will this lead to the most tragic, despair-filled event in human history? I don't know.
Will it lead to the Attack on Titan characters getting placed in a classroom killing game?
I hope so. Oh god, I just love that this is a game that exists. I really need to play Danganronpa 2. Too many games. Similar 3DS weird stuff theme. Continuing that. Is it the Sandcastle? No, is this Mimikyu or the Sandcastle Pokemon? I forget.
Mimikyu.
Yeah, so Shane Arns isn't here because we know he's the world's biggest Mimikyu fan. But Mimikyu is getting a new Z move in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon called Let's Snuggle Forever. Which to be honest, I haven't seen footage of this move, but based on the name alone, it sounds kind of terrifying. But
the trainer sends Mimikyu towards the other Pokemon, and then you kind of see the Pokemon looking nervous, and Mimikyu is like dashing around behind it. And then it jumps over the other Pokemon with both of them under the sheet. And you just see it like beating them up under the sheet.
Very nice. It's evil. So yeah, is this I feel like I haven't seen, I mean, maybe just because I haven't been following it too much, but have they been doing pretty consistent showing off of new Z moves, or is this like a big deal? Like,
I think there was one other officially revealed. The game's leaked, so
Oh, okay.
people already know like everything in the games now. But I think only one other newsy move has been officially revealed so far.
Okay. So this is making this a pretty substantial announcement. And I mean, what better way to sell a game than to promise cuddling? Honestly, or snuggling. If we're being specific. Anyway, moving on back over to the Switch. Capcom, who's a developer who has been very reluctant to sort of hop on the Switch train for the most part, has sort of released some positive words with the Capcom COO saying that the company is developing Switch titles aimed at release after April next year. So it sounds like they have some stuff coming relatively soon, given that they have only really just gained confidence in the system. Specifically, they cite something in the Ace Attorney franchise, which has a lot of people excited. Of course, there's the question of this might just be the same port that we got on 3DS of the first 3 games. That would be a bit disappointing given how many ports Capcom is doing, really. But a new one would be awesome. Maybe they'll port and then a new one, but hey, at least it's a step in the right direction. I don't know. I mean, obviously, Capcom. So I guess if we can talk briefly about, their track record with Switch. So their first release was Ultra Street Fighter 2, which was admittedly a pretty lazy port.
Overpriced.
It's like a $40 game that was it's like $10 on Xbox Live Arcade. But it still did really well for them sales-wise, of course, because it's Street Fighter, I guess. And the Switch users at that time were kind of starving for games. So it did well, exceeded expectations. And they released Monster Hunter Double Cross Switch version in Japan without localizing it, unfortunately. Fingers still crossed for localization announcement now that they've sort of said they're turning around on Switch. But yeah, just their support has been kind of lackluster. There have been a number of titles which could easily run on Switch, things like Disney Afternoon Collection, Mega Man Legacy Collection 2, and Okami HD coming later this year, which Capcom has just neglected to develop Switch versions for, which I understand it's for business reasons, but when you look at all the companies enthusiastically embracing the system, it can be a bit disheartening to see all these games skipping the system. But Capcom is definitely experiencing a change of heart here. The Resident Evil port they have coming actually looks quite impressive. I think it's coming out later this month. It's Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 with added support for things like motion controls, and apparently the games look quite nice as well. So hopefully they can keep this up, and hopefully Resident Evil does well for them. I think it will. There's not really a lot of horror on Switch, nor a lot of shooters, with the exception of Doom now. So I think there's definitely a market for that, and hopefully Ace Attorney does well. I think Switch works so well theoretically for VNs just because of the ability to either play on the TV or the handheld, I think, right? Because sometimes you just don't feel like playing on the TV. Like, let's say it's late at night or something, you just want to cuddle up in bed with a good old VN. Switch has got your back. Obviously, it's not getting nearly as many as, say, the Vita, but hopefully we get to that point eventually. Square Enix has taken a similar pledge. They've said I don't remember the exact quote, but I think they said they're going full steam ahead with Switch development. And they've said that no IP is, they're not counting any IP out for development. So again, they're definitely demonstrating high confidence here.
It's getting a lot of people hoping for, what is it, The World Ends With You? Is that the...
Yeah, The World Ends With You 2, yeah. Some people are hoping for, which that would be a massive announcement, because I remember a couple of years ago they were teasing an announcement, but it was just an iOS port of the game, and of course there was massive disappointment there.
That could have also been feedback gauging, though. They're
true.
Teasing an announcement and then seeing how many people get super hyped for a sequel and then disappointed when it's not a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
And then, there was a lot of people really wanting a sequel. Maybe we should make one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I personally never played the original, but I know some people who'd be very excited about that. Of course, we know Dragon Quest. I know Dragon Quest 11 is already out in Japan. I don't know if the Switch version is out yet there.
I don't know.
But I know that game has been confirmed for coming to North America. So hopefully the localized version comes to Switch as well. We know they're developing Octopath Traveler as a system exclusive. Got very positive feedback on the demo for that game. And of course, there are a couple other games to sort of mention. So Final Fantasy 15, a little while back, got a, I believe, Pocket Edition or something like that, mobile edition announced. And shortly after, Square Enix said, "Oh, we're also looking at developing for a platform that like rhymes with Twitch or something." So pretty clear what they're alluding to there. So hopefully this statement means that development is progressing on that front, as well as potentially Kingdom Hearts 3, maybe, and or I kind of doubt that Final Fantasy 15 remake will come to Switch. I don't even think that game is going to come to PS4 at this point. But yeah, fingers crossed for Final Fantasy 15 and maybe Kingdom Hearts 3 as well, and of course new IP. So, or not new IP, but like existing old IP that they can revive. So definitely encouraging words.
I also just remembered this, but didn't like Namco also say something about
Yeah, I think so.
like 3 exclusive games or something?
Yeah, so lots
coming
of
this fiscal year.
Lots of Japanese companies coming forward about that. Yeah, it's kind of incredible. 3 exclusives seems like a big deal. Hopefully they bring. I forget. Are they the ones behind Dragon Ball Fighter Z?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I doubt that's going to come to Switch at launch, but hopefully we get a late port for that game, just because I know Xenoverse 2 has been doing really well on Switch, and they said, "Oh well, if Xenoverse 2 does well, then we'll assess it," and it's been doing well, so time to assess it. Anyway, in similar, I guess I was talking about Square Enix. So in similar RPG news, we got a Nintendo Direct presentation focused solely on Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So we already know the release date for the game is December 1st, but we got some more details, like the fact that there will be a Japanese voice pack available for free download on day one. Something a lot of people were expecting because Fire Emblem Warriors got the same treatment. So definitely cool to see that they implemented that. It sounded like originally there weren't plans for it, but they were able to pull through. So definitely a good factor for some people. I personally, from what I've seen in the footage, I enjoy the English voice acting, specifically all the fun accents. So I think if I get the game, I think I'll stick with that. But it's a good option for sure. They also announced an expansion pass, basically a season pass. So kind of a similar thing to what they did with Breath of the Wild, which you can pre-purchase now with the game. I believe it is $20 extra. And it'll add a bunch of new things, like new quests, new story content, abilities, challenge mode, yada yada, the usual. So if you're a hardcore Xenoblade fan, might want to look into preloading that. And of course, the base game is also available to preload. Nintendo's definitely taking a very aggressive stance with the whole preloading thing, because it wasn't there at first, but now it's like, if you look at coming soon, pretty much every game is available to preload. I believe Skyrim is as well, and LA Noire, so definitely some good options there. Anyway, last but not least, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to now spend some time talking about Mario Odyssey. So this was a game that last week that Arms and I had kind of just started it? Oh no, last week ago. Yeah, last week we didn't get to record. Oh, Pino, why are you on my bed? So 2 weeks ago, Armando and I talked about it. Now Connor finally has beaten the game. And so I think for the most part, we're going to try to avoid major spoilers. But if you're concerned about spoilers, you can feel free to skip this section. This is our last major news topic. So unless you want to hear the poll, might as well tab out now. I hate telling people to stop listening, but just protecting your spoiler. I respect the need to avoid spoilers. So,
how many people that care about spoilers haven't beat the game in what's it been 3 weeks now?
That's a good point. It has been a while.
It's not like the main game is that long unless you're going through each kingdom.
Getting every moon, right?
And getting everything your first time through, which I'm not even sure how possible that is.
Yeah. It's not, because stuff unlocks after. So, most likely if you're listening to this, you've beaten the game by now. But if you haven't, fair warning. So, anyway, so I'm curious as for you mentioned moon completion. How hardcore are you going on that front?
I think I'm gonna try and get like as many moons as I can, and I might like look up a walkthrough or something for those I can't, or just use the in-game stuff. I don't know. I know I haven't gone to it yet, but I know there's like a super hard completionist level, but that's just like a standard Mario thing at this point now.
Yeah, I think like a super hard last level. Yeah, I was playing that earlier, and I was very physically affected by that level.
I don't know if because like I don't want to say I'm going for 100% because I don't know if I'll beat that level
Right.
because not an expert at Mario Odyssey. I'm
Right. No, I get you.
so I don't want to be all like I'm going for 100% and like really you can't say all moons because like in the post game you can just buy infinite moons.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
as long as you get like I think it's 200
something?
or something to get to Bowser.
Oh yeah, there's a certain number to get to Bowser. I think it's even less than 200.
Then you could just like buy your way a few grind coins to 999.
Right.
Which I mean, why would you do that?
I mean, to be honest, I'm gonna have to do that eventually because of I don't know if you saw the costume that costs 999.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna need that. So I'll have to find a grinding spot.
I wish there's an amiibo that would unlock that. That costume's great.
Yeah, honestly. No, why is there no dry bones amiibo? This is a travesty. See, I'm kind of the same way. I mean, I feel I don't know. I feel extra determined to beat that last level because I beat Champions Road in 3D World, and I feel like I have to continue my legacy. But this is a hell of a level. I think the main, from what I've seen so far, the main difficulty of it, it's not ultra hard, but it's so long and there are no checkpoints. And if you die, it's just so frustrating. It's like there was this one part earlier where you can have like extended health. So I had the 6 health, but then I fell off of a platform into a lava. And obviously, if you have 6 health, or if there's lava, 6 health isn't going to really do anything for you. So I was like, God damn it.
Well, you might be
and then
able
I
to bounce out.
Oh, that's true. But there wasn't nearby ground, so I was kind of stranded. But see, I promptly turned off my Switch and started playing Doom after that. I'll hopefully beat it eventually, though. So, I'm just curious, what do you think of the game as a whole?
It was really fun. There's like a few things that I really liked. Like I really liked the costumes, and especially how like they were all themed. Like even when they're based on like previous Mario related costumes, you still get them in areas that they're like relevant to aside from post-game costumes.
Yeah.
Like the Mario Maker one, you get that in New Donk City.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of construction going on, right?
Or the Puzzle Master Scientist, whatever.
Yeah, you get it in like the forest.
Yeah, which has a bunch of science-y stuff in it. Yeah. So they're all thematically, they make sense. For like the most part, I liked all the kingdoms. I really didn't like Luncheon though. I didn't even finish Luncheon. I just
left before like you had enough. Oh wow.
There's like one part you're like doing this skinny platforming on top of lava and there's like peppers rolling down on you.
Oh yeah.
And I just couldn't figure out how to get around the peppers, so I just skipped it.
Yeah, I know the exact part you're talking about. For me, if I had to pick a favorite kingdom, initially I thought the Wooded Kingdom was my favorite. I just love that area. Looking back though, I really enjoyed the Lost Kingdom. That's definitely a favorite. I really enjoyed New Donk City. Still enjoyed the Wooded Kingdom a lot. I just don't think it's my favorite. I love the Sand Kingdom as well. Sand Kingdom might actually be my favorite. I just love how open that area is, and yet there are all these little secrets tucked throughout, and the boss is so awesome too. And I mean, if we're talking about post game stuff, I'm not going to go into detail, but the Mushroom Kingdom I really enjoyed as well. Not only for nostalgia reasons, but there were just some really fun mechanics to play around with in there. Just like riding around on the scooter in that area was so fun. Because like in New Donk City, it makes sense in that context, but just like going on this electric scooter on these like green rolling hills is so funny to me, and it's fun. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. If I could pick a least favorite kingdom, I wasn't a huge fan of Bowser's Castle, to be honest. Just because of
I
how.
was gonna say that's my favorite one.
Oh wow. So for me, I don't like how segmented it is, but I love the bird so much. The bird capture is amazing. Um,
I just like because I was expecting Bowser's Kingdom to be
like
the
a generic
typical
castle.
Bowser. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
castle and lava everywhere, and we just did the Luncheon Kingdom, which even though
Right.
it wasn't lava, it like
Basically
basically was lava. So like I was all prepared for that, and then when it's just like the traditional Japanese style, and you have to like go through this Japanese style castle,
Mhm.
and you're not even like taunted by Bowser the whole time, which is nice because a lot of Mario games they have either Bowser or the Koopa Kids just kind of taunting you through the last level,
Yeah.
which is kind of tiring after a while.
Mhm.
This time you have to fight each of the what are they called?
Brutals.
Brutals.
Yeah.
One at a time, but it's not like they're following you through the level, taunting you or something.
Right, and then you get the Robo Brutal, which was one of my favorite bosses in the game. I think.
Yeah.
So really, really good stuff. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Did I say it was my least favorite?
Yeah.
God. Now I'm having second thoughts because like the boss is so good and I love the capture so much. It's just tough to me how like segmented it is, because it's like all the other kingdoms flow really naturally, whereas that one's like here's 5 distinct areas. So I guess I don't like that part about it, but maybe it's not my least favorite. I don't know.
Least favorites are probably the Luncheon for sure, and then probably Lake.
Yeah, Lake was not great. One of my favorites. So one that I was kind of anticipating to dislike, but ended up loving was the Snow Kingdom.
Yeah.
Because I did not expect there to be an adorable freaking town. I was thinking it was just gonna be like this barren wasteland, but they ended up introducing the cutest species in the whole game. So, yeah, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the racing game. I know some people had difficulty with it, but that was probably my favorite minigame.
I was trying to like push him. Like I didn't think that I would have to do the race for him. I was like trying to roll him, and he wouldn't move. And then I just got mad at him and threw my hat to try and hit him. And then I'm like, oh, right.
This is a thing, yeah. See, I enjoyed that area. I like how the blizzard goes away once you clear the race, and you can actually like explore that area. In terms of the mini games, once you beat every world, there's sort of similar mini games unlocked throughout. My favorite is probably the Cooper race. I just think it's fun to like optimize runs, and especially I really enjoy the one at Bowser's Castle just because you're doing these massive jumps and it's pretty awesome. The one in I'm trying to think, some of them are just so long. Like what was it? Like the one in Lost Kingdom, it's like you start at the start of the level and you have to get all the way to the top. It's ridiculous.
The one in Lake's really dumb too.
Oh, you have to get onto like that. Yeah, that one's kind of annoying.
Like
Apparently,
you have to
you have to
go.
go underwater. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's possible to just jump over that wall at the beginning, but it's very difficult. I didn't attempt it. Well, I attempted it but failed. Yeah. So I guess one element I kind of have mixed feelings on is them sort of recycling those different activities in the different kingdoms. So things like wooing this Lady Goomba or doing the Koopa races. These are things you see repeated throughout the kingdoms. Granted, they're introduced in different contexts. So, like for instance, in the Luncheon Kingdom, to get to the Lady Goomba, you have to use this corn cob to roll across the lava. In the Seaside Kingdom, you have to like climb up this hill with these boulders rolling down. So they do have them in different contexts, but that one in particular just felt a little bit overdone to me.
Like in the Sand Kingdom, it's the only one I've done so far that only required one Goomba, but you had to like walk all the way across the desert.
The Sand Kingdom, yeah, that one was fun actually because it's like you're making a journey. Definitely unique. It's funny because as soon as I saw that Goomba, I'm like, oh, I know what I have to do.
Yeah, like as far as I know, those I think it's 4 Goombas are the only ones in the kingdom.
Yeah.
Actually, there's some in the icy part of that.
Right.
Too.
Yeah, but you can't get them out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just those ones in that entrance to the ruins. Yeah. Um, I very much enjoy like the. I don't know. I enjoy the. I definitely enjoy the kingdom specific stuff more than the stuff that's copied throughout the game. So, for instance, in the Sand Kingdom, there's this one moon where I believe it's like a post game moon, but there's all these pillars throughout the Sand Kingdom, right? And you can get to the top of it pretty easily, but there's a block that you have to break, and it's like, well, how do I break this? And it's like, oh, you got to use the bullet bill. But the thing is, the bullet bill, the range on the bullet bill, it has like a time limit, right? So what you have to do, basically, when you capture a bullet bill, it resets the timer. And so you have to get this bullet bill as far away from the launcher as possible, and right before it's about to explode, you have to capture it and then fly over. And so stuff like that is just so clever, I think. I also love the Jaxie in that area. It's so cool to ride around on that thing. Oh, and actually, okay, so I was speaking about things being copy-pasted, and while some of them, like the Goomba, are annoying, there's some that I enjoyed. So, for instance, I love herding the sheep. I also love the Lakitu fishing sections, because it's so Animal Crossing.
I didn't like herding the sheep in what kingdom was it?
Mushroom? Desert?
No.
There was one, oh god, there was this one really tough sheep minigame where it was like in a subworld.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. That one was tough because they fall off so easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a challenge. And what was the other one I mentioned? The sheep and whatever. They're all great. Point is, well, not all of them, but some of them are great. Another thing I was kind of annoyed at first, but once I started to get it, I enjoyed it more. Is like the hint art stuff. So I think one of my favorites is basically once you beat the game and when you return to the Luncheon Kingdom, there's like a festival going on. So there's a ton of NPCs in the main town area. And there's this one hint art that's just 2 pictures of the town or the plaza with all those people side by side. And pretty quickly you realize it's a spot the difference game. And what you ultimately have to do, and I'm not going to spoil this because it's clear as day when you see it, but you have to find, okay, the difference ultimately is there's a person missing for one of the pictures, and so you have to ground pound on that spot to get the moon. So I just think stuff like that is so cool. I also enjoy the sections where they take Cappy away. It definitely makes you feel weak. It makes you it reminds you how much you rely on Cappy. Like there was this one in particular where there was a previous version of the section where you have Cappy, where you're trying to get across this invisible set of platforms, and there are piranha plants spitting poison. I don't know if you've done that one.
Yeah.
But then you have to do that without Cappy.
Oh.
And it sucks. I did it this morning, and it was so frustrating, but I did it.
How would you even do that? Like, there's too much poison.
You just gotta have mad jumps. You gotta utilize the dive a lot, basically. Yeah, that was a challenge for sure. And there's another one. I don't know if you did the thing in New Donk City where you have the scooter and you have to make it across those platforms that disappear in a certain amount of time.
Don't think so.
It's in a sub area, but basically there are these very long platforms. With the scooter, it's no trouble because the scooter is very fast. But doing that without the scooter or Cappy, God, you have to go so. It's like if you make one tiny mistake, you're dead. Like you have to be perfect. So that was a challenge too, but still enjoyable nonetheless. So yeah, it's a really good game. My biggest complaint is related to the hardware, the Switch. Because for me, I bought a new pair of Joy-Cons just to play the game, so I wouldn't have issues with interference. Lo and behold, there are still issues with interference on this new pair. So granted, I'm gonna get them repaired, but it was just very frustrating. And in addition to that, even if you have a pair that's working perfectly, some of the commands are still hard to pull off, specifically the up throw and down throw.
Yeah.
They're just super unreliable. The spin throw is usually pretty reliable, but the other two is just not reliable enough for it to be like a viable move. And it's annoying because those are helpful moves, but it's just like when you can't execute them half the time, it's super frustrating.
I wish it was possible to like, because like typical Mario games, every move has 2 buttons with like A and B both jump, X and Y
Right.
both throw cappy,
Yeah.
and Z and LZ are no
Yeah. ZLZ are both crouch. Yeah.
both crouch. So I wish it was possible to like remap it so like B still jumps but A throws the cappy upwards or something.
Yeah. Yeah. You could do like Y's regular throw, like A's up throw, or like X's up throw, A's down throw, B's jump, something like that. Just to make that more bearable. But I mean, granted, I guess I didn't really need to use the move a ton, but it would have been helpful in some instances. So, something they could fix next time. Not a huge issue, but still a valid complaint, I think.
I think one of the weirdest things was like how much they were pushing the Metro Kingdom and all the pre-release stuff. I was expecting it to be the first kingdom, and then it's
weird. You have to like
it's
wait
the
halfway through the
5th
game.
or something.
Yeah. Because that was the game, or that was the first trailer or the first area they showed in the game, back in January, followed by the desert area. So I was kind of expecting Donk to be the first world and desert to be the second, but they totally threw us for a loop. Granted, I think they did the introduction really well.
Yeah.
I think Cascade Kingdom was a really good introduction to the game. I know it starts with Cap, but I just feel like Cascade does a better job.
I mean, Cap's not really the first kingdom. Like,
yeah,
it's
like
more of a prologue.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, there's stuff there once. I don't know when it shows up exactly, but
yeah, it gets added later, essentially.
So I would say it's more like a prologue that you can go back to.
That's true. Yeah, so I guess if you're counting Cascade as the first kingdom, I think it's a really good first kingdom. I think the fact that they throw the dinosaur you right away is just so cool. It's like, hey, here's one of the coolest captures right away.
Hey, here you go. You can capture a T-Rex before a Goomba.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Bullet Bill, or not Bullet Bill. Yeah, Chain Chomp is the first. Well, it goes Frog, Chain Chomp, Bullet Bill. Or no, Frog, Chain Chomp, T-Rex. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. I also like that the Frog makes a cameo in one of the later kingdoms. I don't know if you noticed that. I don't know how much you explored the final kingdom. Anyway, unless you have anything else to add, I'd say that probably about does it for our discussion. Went on for a while.
One other thing, like I don't like how a large portion of the moons are just buying them. Like there's one per kingdom, but then in the after game, as I mentioned, you have to like I think it's only like 839 or something. Somewhere around 840-ish that you have to like find, but then the cap is at 999, so you have to buy the rest, and I just kind of wish buying moons wasn't even a thing.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of a weird mechanic. I definitely agree with that, especially when like that. There's the outfit that's 9999. It's like so expensive. It's like I'd almost rather buy that than just grind all the moons, But
and then there's like all these hard levels, and of course this is the first game where coins are now your lives.
Yeah,
instead.
Exactly. Yeah, so dying definitely matters more now.
I kind of wish 1-up mushrooms were like in the game, but just gave you like 100 coins instead of a life.
Oh, that'd be nice. Because coins are.
Obviously, they'd be rare if they did, but.
Right. It's funny because in previous games, 3D World, when I run into a stack of coins, I'm like, who gives a crap? But when I run into a stack of coins in this game, it's like, oh my god. So they definitely.
It's like, oh boy, I'm closer to my 700th life.
Yeah. Anyway, that about does it for this week's episode. Before we leave, though, we'll leave you with a poll asking about the upcoming Splatfest. So, would you rather be Team Sci-Fi or Team Fantasy? Please do reply to this poll, and if you want to let us know in the replies why, maybe you can provide, work of fiction which demonstrates the superior genre. But have fun with that. Anyway, that'll do it for this week. Of course, be sure to follow us on VidMe if that's where you watch your videos, or if you watch on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to our channel. That's youtube.com/BlazeGeekMedia. If you're watching this on YouTube or listening, be sure to leave a like and share with your friends on Twitter, Facebook, etc. You can also subscribe on iTunes or Google Play Music for our pure audio format and leave a rating. And you can follow us on Twitter. I'm Matt Dashi007.
I'm at 331.
You can find BlazeKick at BlazeKick Tweet, and you can find the show at Nin Unleashed. Haven't tweeted for a while, so be it though. And of course, BlazeKick.com is the home of all things BlazeKick, which was recently revived by, was it you or Arms? Someone saved it.
BlazeKick.com.
Yeah, because
Someone
remember
saved it
it was going to run out.
Oh, right, it was Arms.
Yeah, so shout out to Arms for saving BlazeKick. And we'll see you guys next week. Let's play some Mario or Doom or something.